my sister grew up with this attitude: don't tell me what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. That was her philosophy. I don't like people to tell me what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. And she had to sing the songs that they picked, and she had to sing at whatever note they wanted her to sing. And so as soon as she finished with the contract, that was enough for her. But her love for music, it's like my mother and even myself. Even though I don't sing, I feel the music deep within my soul. And then one time I kind of analyzed, why do the music ministers to me? All music, not just one particular, from classical, country, Mexican, parancha, whatever, you know, and Christian music, it is meaningful to me. Then the thought came to me, well, why not? My mother was a singer, and she was carrying me during her pregnancy. True. You know, we don't stop to think. All her feelings. My mother's voice was so strong. We lived at the end of the street, of Camden Street. Once you turned around the corner, a few houses down, you could hear my mother singing. And all the neighbors, the whole neighborhood knew when my mother was washing. It was ringer washing machine time during that period. When my mother would wash, the ringer washing machine, she'd always sing, you know, I am the grande, I am the vivio, and she'd sing her heart out to the top. Amazing. When I got old enough, I was designated to hang the clothes out in the clothesline, you know. So that's our mom. Like I was telling you about my father, since he lost his mother very young, they didn't get encouraged to get an education, to read, to grow in socially or no culturally, you know, education. And so it was just nothing but farming, see. And to this day, people that come from other countries, Central America, Honduras, or something, they come from the country and they don't have any education. They're supposed to have primera and secundaria, that's what they call it. Secundaria is like high school, but they learn to read and write, and if they don't finish that, they don't learn and go out and work in the fields. I've talked to some of them, and they said, you know how old I was when I started working in the field? 5 years old. Then they come into this country and they don't know how to read, and they don't know other social graces. It's a lack of education, even in Spanish. And they say incorrectly in Spanish, and they translate the Spanish word into English. So my father didn't encourage education, but my mother's family was different. They settled in El Paso, Texas, where their parents were, both my grandfather and my grandmother, and they went to school in El Paso. And I've been to El Paso when I was 20. That's about 50, 60 years ago. And I noticed, one thing I noticed right away, their form of education is much higher than California. And everybody there is a bilingual. Many people can speak both languages very well. All my cousins that are there, they speak Spanish very well, and they read and write English, okay? No, I'm not going to answer that. And they read and write the two languages, and even in town, in the jobs, they have to be bilingual. Yeah. Because while they live in a border town, so Juarez, many people from Juarez go over there. Also, the school that my brother got a scholarship to go to Lydia. Please leave a message after the tone. My brother got a scholarship through one of the pastors, Directorio Venegas. I got him a scholarship to go to Lydia Patterson Institute, and it was a very it's still to this day it exists, but my cousin told me that they made it more of a business school. But that school used to train, and it was well known for Methodist pastors, bilingual pastors. And so my brother went there for 2 years, And during the summer, they'd send them out to 10,000 lakes in Michigan to go and out in the fields and minister to the workers out in the field. And so my brother got a very good education there. But in any case, back to my mother's family, her brothers, 3 brothers, and her 2 younger brother and sister, my mother had, I guess, up to 6th grade or 7th grade, I don't know. She was about 14 when they came to East LA. My grandmother would follow her aunt, and my aunt and my uncle, my great aunt and great uncle, they left El Paso and they came and settled in East Los Angeles. So they used to ride to each other. I have a letter dated 1902, so you see my grandmother, she was educated in Mexico because she could read and write. Anybody that could read and write in Spanish, they had a form of education. And then my grandfather was a genius, my mother's father. So my mother's side of the family was promoting education, encouraging education. So my mother used to tell us, don't pay attention to your father, go to school. She wanted us to finish high school. Her sister and her younger brother, they finished high school at Belmont High School in Los Angeles back in, her sister graduated in 1929. So it's just 2 worlds of 2 worlds, you know. And my mother had a very hard time with her sister-in-laws because she was born in Mexico, and they lost their mother at a very young age. My Aunt Jessie was 7 years old, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and Carmen was 12 years old. You know, to teach them social manners, or even in Spanish. My mother taught us a lot of things. Anyway, this begins a life with my father when he marries. He got married. They took a picture at Central Park. And here's Mom. She's I have something that was written that my sister wrote. She loved music and she could sing like a lark or something like that. But she was proud of being a Mexican citizen, and she was proud. She became naturalized in December 1941 or 42. And she was very proud to be an American citizen. We grew up with a Gettysburg Address up there, Roosevelt, everything patriotic was on the wall. And we learned that, you know. And she taught us that, to be proud of our heritage and to be proud of being Americans too. So here's Dad and I at Central Park. Here's me at Central Park. This is me. This is here it is, 45 Peach Place. Okay, and that's my dad in 1935. My brother went into the ministry and he got assigned to a church in Odom, Texas. Here's my mom and I. And that's me on top of a 1935 car. And we're down in Camden Street now by this time. This is my sister that follows me, Lucy. We call her Lucy. Her name is Luz Lydia, 1938. And I don't know, I just like this picture.
That's a nice picture.
Yeah, it's me and my son. There used to be a photo store on Colorado Boulevard, Colorado and Raymond. It used to be called Flag Studio. It was a family, a husband and wife and their son. And he took the picture. He was always taking pictures of me. And I don't know. You can't see yourself. I didn't see myself, but he took my wedding pictures too, and my son just saw them. He said, gee, they were nice. So I went into the store to say hello. They were friends of my sister, but I got to know them, and so they knew me. I became friends with them too. So I went to their store, and then right away he takes out the camera and holding up and all this. And here, this is where we were on Camden Street. Yeah. This is me. I was 11, I think, and this is my friend that I grew up with, Molly. Molly had a meal, and here's the place. Here we are, Central Park. That's me at 3. And Dad was the only Mexican-American barber that went to the barber school. Barber, I don't know if you call it barber college, barber school, and it was on Colorado, right in the middle of Old Town Pasadena.
Wow.
Right in the middle. There was a barber college. That was so beautiful to have that barber college there. But my dad went to college. He got the trade. I mean, he was a trade. That was a trade. My older sister helped him a lot. You have to remember, he didn't finish high school. He only probably went to 8th grade.
Wow.
So my dad was pretty smart for not having a full high school education. He got educated with the world. And there's my cousin Roy and me and my brother down at the city hall. And see the clothesline? Here's my dad cutting his first grandson's hair, and there's a clothesline that was where we were today.
Yeah. Yeah, on Camden.
On Camden Street.
Yeah.
And this is Peoria Street. Here are the grandchildren, my mother's grandchildren down here. It's Priscilla, Terry, Troy, my daughter Liz, and Ruth and Luann. So, here it is. I can read it to you. My sister wrote this, and it's true to the word. My mother was born in 1909. The Mexican Revolution started in 1910. The independence of Mexico from Maximilian, he was emperor of Mexico, but he was from Australia, but I guess the Spaniards owned were the conquerors there. And the peasants, the farmers, you know, they rebelled. Benito Juarez, the priest, he led the march on that with the Pancho Villa, many other generals. But anyway, my mother was born during that era. Her true name was Otilia, but they called her Tilly. Tilly was born in Parral, Chihuahua, Mexico on August 28, 1909 to Candelaria Jurado de Perez and Florencio Perez. Around 1914, the family, which included Sister Celia and brothers Cuauhtémoc, which we used to call Temo, it's an Indian, famous Indian prince, Oscar and Antonio, migrated to El Paso, Texas. A few years later, the family moved again, this time to Los Angeles, California. One of the highlights of her life happened on December 4th, 1942, when Tilly became a naturalized citizen of the United States, an accomplishment which brought her much pride and satisfaction. These feelings she passed on to her children, Marina, Maxine, Albert, Lucy, and Bertie. Tilly had become a proud, happy American, but never lost the richness of her Mexican heritage. And she had the rare ability to teach her children and grandchildren to take pride and responsibility of being an American, while never losing the truest sense of being a Mexican American. She transmitted a love of the music of her native land through her singing and guitar playing. She made joyful sounds which the voice of a lark with her heart and soul. She is survived by her 5 children, 13 grandchildren, 17 great-grandchildren, and scores of nieces and nephews, 2 sister-in-laws, cousins, and hundreds of friends that she made and captured their love and respect with her generous openness. She is sincerely with God's choice of angels.
That's lovely.
My sister, Marina, that's how good her writing was.
Oh, that's beautiful.
My mother also worked for the Deity Service.
Oh, did she really?
Yes.
Is it the one on Arroyo? That,
no, it's on California.
On California, yeah.
She also got me a job there at 16. because we came too late from the Walnuts around November.
From Simi Valley, right?
And I working for Pasadena School District, I was working at Sierra Madre, and all these kids come in late, they register late, they're always 6 weeks late, or they take off in December. Why do they do this? And then one day I just, saying that, the words struck back at me. Well, I was always late in entering school, at starting 10th grade. So I was always late and always trying to catch up. It was very hard. And to my friends that know me, what they didn't understand about me is I had a hearing loss at 2 months old, and I struggled all through school to understand that hearing is part of comprehending. And comprehending, it goes with hearing and learning. And at that time we had a blackboard, and the teachers used to write with a chalk, and they turn back and forth. And so when they turned their back on me, I would lose it. So I think up until the 5th grade, I have a report card that says Maxine finally stopped visiting her friends. Well, she didn't know. And it took me a while too. Well, I was visiting them because I wanted the assignment. See, I was missing part of the instruction of what to do and how to do it. So I think I was pretty smart even as a child, because I used to pick the smart kids. I used to pick the A students, And there were 2 black girls, Marie Ludd and Mary Johns. Very successful ladies, let me tell you. Professionals. And Helen Lozano. And when I was in the 11th grade, I went to John Muir Junior College. I selected Mary Ann. And this is an article that, I don't know who wrote this, if it was Mary Ann or not, but they wrote, Manny Contreras conducts a yard sale. We had several yard sales in front of his house. He used to live on Lake Street, just above Washington. We'd raise up to $1,000.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a good yard sale.
Successful, yes.
Yeah.
A yard sale at the Pasadena home to raise funds for the Mexican American History Association. Contreras is president of the group, which was formed in 1996. Okay. Here's my brother when he graduated from McKinley, and he was born April 13, 1937. Albert Garcia, native of Pasadena, went to grammar school at James A. Garfield, then to McKinley. Albert played saxophone and marched in the McKinley band. He was a paper boy for the Pasadena Star-News, and he had a paper route at the age of 10. I'm telling you, my father wanted us to learn how to work. The Garcia family, Maddie and Tilly, attended the Iglesia Metodista located at the corner of Fillmore and Arroyo Parkway, later the Latin American Methodist Church. Later in years, at the age of 17, Reverend Doratorio Venegas, pastor of the Methodist Church, obtained a scholarship for him to attend the Lydia Patterson Institute. There he was prepared to train for the Methodist Pastoral Internship, sent to the 10,000 Lakes, Michigan, to do missionary work in a founder of a recovery house for men in Tecate, Mexico, for alcoholic and drugs. He is survived by his 4 children, 13 grandchildren, and us 4 sisters. And he was loved by many.
Wow.
This is my cousin Raul Perez. This is my mom's oldest brother, Oscar Perez. His name was Raul. My uncle had 5 boys and 2 girls. The first 3 were born. The oldest boy, the oldest son was Oscar Jr. Oscar, Raquel and Nena were born here in the States, in Los Angeles, and he returned back to Mexico in around 1941 because the Depression, it was very hard making a living here, so he felt that he could do better in Mexico, and he did, and he got a job with American Foundry, and he was an engineer, and because he was bilingual, he could do he could serve the the company, and he could speak with the workers. One of the, what do you call the furnaces exploded one night at midnight. He took his brother's place. We both brothers were there, and he took his brother's place and exploded, and he got burned from head to toe.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it was terrible. And his best friend wrapped him up in a blanket, and he drove him to the hospital. Well, his friend died from shock 3 days later.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, but my uncle lived for several years, for many years. I don't know how old he was when he passed away now, but anyway, he had these 5 boys, and he sent them to private schools, and then this is, like you said, primera, secundaria, and then they go to la carrera, the career. You know, you plan for attorney or whatever, a doctor, whatever field you go into for another 4 years. So they're finished with school at 15. So at 15, he sent the 3 oldest that were Americans, born American citizens. Now go learn your language here from your country. So they got sent over here at 15. That's when I met my cousins. And this cousin here, what's so different about him is that when he came, of course, Big Brother had a job with Alicia, the laundry, and he got on there, and he was just more aggressive than his older brother. He wanted to be a supervisor, then he became in charge of a plant, and then he went into politics. He went to, either he went to City College at Long Beach, and he got into politics also, Toastmasters. Yeah, Toastmaster, learn how to speak. And he became a naturalized citizen to run for, he was the first Mexican to be mayor for Huntington Park.
Really?
Yes, his friends, colleagues mourned for Raul Perez. Flags flew at half-staff at the Huntington Park City Hall on Monday as officials, families, and friends mourned the death of Councilman Raul R. Perez, who is remembered for his perseverance and commitment to shaping the city. Perez, 54 years, died Saturday night from gallbladder cancer at Kaiser Permanente Medical Center in Bellflower. Perez followed transportation issues. That's the mayor, no, the governor at that time. I don't know if it was Gray Davis or not. They wanted him to go and take care of that transportation.
What year was this that he passed
Well,
away?
this was 1996. This article was Tuesday, October 29, 1996 in the LA Times. He died at the Kaiser Permanente in Bellflower. Perez followed transportation issues closely and was a board member of the Metropolitan Transportation Authority for 2 years. He was a chairman of the agency construction committee. Perez, the city's first Latino mayor, was elected to city council after a dramatic demographic shift in Huntington Park from a predominantly white population to a Latino majority by 1980. Perez ran unsuccessfully 5 times before winning a council seat in 1990. Perez, a native of Guadalajara, Mexico, belonged to several organizations including the YMCA, the Elks Lodge, and the Lions Club. Raul was very dedicated to serving the people, said Mayor Tom Jackson. He was everyone's friend. It is a tremendous loss. Perez is survived by his wife Rosa and their son Raul and Ryan. Services are scheduled for 9 a.m. Wednesday and St. Matthew's Church at 3095 East Florence. That church was packed.
I guess
You
so.
know? So that was his contribution. His wife is now on the council and serves.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and his son Raul, he graduated from UCLA.
Dedicated family, huh?
This is the only Mexican club in the Pasadena City College, junior college.
When was
In
this?
1947. Here's my sister. That's a good best friend. These are all good friends of her.
1947, huh?
Here it is, see?
Yeah.
This is my aunt, the one Maxine.
Oh, look at that bathing beauty.
1913, so I told you.
Oh.
I have to get her birth certificate. I asked for my cousins. No, they delay. But when they want something from me, they sure bug me. This is my father. When he went to Oregon, and in Pasadena, this guy right here, Kelly, he told me he doesn't know why he didn't go finish the 10th grade at McKinley. They used to send the boys to CDC camp. It was a camp to learn about forestry. That's them over there. CCC camp.
Oh, California Conservation Corps, yeah.
That's where they went. That's where my dad learned a lot. He named my brother after his friend Albert Perez. See look at the 19 cars in the back.
Yeah. Yeah. Matilde.
Yeah, see, it's open.
Yeah.
Now, Brookside, my dad was a killer.
Yeah.
He looks like he's a guitar player. My uncle said, that's why you married your mother. He fell in love with my mother. He met her at a dance. And he said, my mother says, he told me his name was Jose. And then he asked for my mother's address and they dancing. So she gave it to him. He went calling on her. She lived in downtown Los Angeles. And he knocks on the door and then he says, in Spanish, this is in Oliveview, I believe.
That's what it says, Oliveview.
Oh yeah, he went to visit his sister Maxine. He says, is Tilly, or Tila here? In Spanish is Tila. This is Oliveview. And she said, no, she's not here. She's down at the park, Central Park, on Olvera Street. They go to, Mexican people go to the placita on Sundays. No work, it's family time. So he went over there, and there's my mother on the stage, singing and playing guitar. That was my mother's thing.
Yeah.
She would have gone into professional, but my grandfather held her back. One time she took my sister when she was about 4 or 5, because she was singing at that age. And then she came back with a lot of nickels. My grandfather said, where did you get that? He said, oh, my mom in Spanish. And my mom took me to this place and we made a lot of money. Oh, yeah? He told my mother, "Did you ever do that anymore?"
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I gotta take this. This is the father of my children.
Oh.
Oh, here. It's
Was
up
that your
here.
first husband?
Yeah, That's him when he was only high school. He gave it to me. Thought it was a big thing here. I want to give it to my son. This is Maxine in Oliveview. So all this is Oliveview. See, look at the mountains.
Yeah, yeah.
This is her. This is her. This is her. This is her. My aunt gave me all her pictures. I was supposed to inherit all of them. 10th of July, 1934. They got married at the Methodist Church. I didn't know till this year till one of my sister's friends told me. She said, well, there's the Placita Methodist Church over there. I said, oh my God, that's where it was.
Wow.